So, just to catch up, everyone. Today we're gonna start trimming up for the Skylight. Basically, what we have is we'll have two double joists, and we got like an opening here. So we'll try to line it up with that as much as we can, and it will be central of the roof or ceiling, whichever way you look at it. Basically, which means that line there where the board is joining, that's our center line, give or take. So for the timbers we're going to use 6x2s. The span is like 2.5 something meters. Because we're going to use 6x2s, the front will have to trim off slightly, because the timbers they use are 5x2s and fairings. So we're going up slightly. Obviously on this end it's not going to matter, because obviously they got fairings, so that will bring our timber under where we need to be, which is great. But on the front we're going to have to cut like a bit off, like a meter from the front of the timber. Roughly we'll cut 25mm off or something, which is fine, it doesn't really matter. So, and as for joist hangers, we'll use again masonry joist hangers, double joist hangers. Then we have double across, and we'll have timber to timber joist hangers to nail onto our double. We also have, as you can see here, we purchased insulated upstand just to save time, really, because we're up against the weather. In order to fit that, so it's high enough for your insulation and everything else, I built some little stud walls, which is the size of that frame. They both are 17mm, so that's 3x2. So that's what that is. For that, we're gonna use that frame, lift it roughly enough for our insulation and now all the other bits and pieces. So that is about 200mm tall, and overall if your upstand from the joist will be about 420mm, 450mm in overall, then you should be fine, because the lowest point, which is going to be back of your upstand, shouldn't be less than 150mm, and then obviously whatever is left elsewhere. So it can be a bit more, but it can't be less. That's the regs for that. So yeah, what we'll do, we'll use acros. I'll put a piece of wood to take the joists, so I can cut them out, and on both sides. And yeah, we'll just crack on. We'll get this done today. Everyone, so just a catch up what we did. So we've overboarded where we had to, so we infilled all the areas where we had to put back the OSB or plywood. which in this case it was mostly. We reused the original because it was okay. Parts which weren't okay we just cut out. So what I wanted to mention, when you got a flat roof and you got lanterns or anything, skylights, whatever you have, you're gonna have naturally be creating like an area where water won't run away nicely. So what we do in that instance, so if you imagine, let's see, I'm just gonna explain that. So this is your roof. Obviously you got your fairings running that way and they'll be flat. So what you want to do, you want to counterfare it, put fairings to direct water down, so like so. So you're gonna have your fairings here, and you want to cut some fairings here now to the point and down again. So I hope that you understand what that is. So that's them. So what I did, where my center mark is on an upstand, I've cut the fairings. It only needs to be 10 millimeters. You don't need to have a big fall. Obviously it will depend on how wide is your opening, what you've trimmed out. In our case it's 1.5 meters internally, so it's not exactly massive, but that's what you need to do. As you can see, I got my fairing pieces there, coming across, same from the other side, as you can see. And all that will do, that will create the fall. Also you want to infill in between your fairings in the measurement whatever you have at that point. So you got a solid fixing basically, so it doesn't, or you can put triple fairings. I used what I cut off, so I used what I already have because I had to trim our 6x2s down. The reason being because the existing timbers are 5x2s, so by the time the fairing, the fall was everything at the front, my 6x2s were sticking through the roof, so I had to trim back a little bit and I could reuse those fairings which I cut to make a drop there. So yeah, remember, create the fall away from the middle, so all your water will go back. Obviously we're going to put trim, but even then you want it to fall away from the back of the upstands. So next step for us will be, we are going to use a vapor barrier, which one side is sticky, one side is like aluminium, but what we got to do, we got to prime it. This is the primer, so this is what we're going to use. Also you can get different products or similar to that, but that's what we got. We got this together with the vapor barrier, and that is what aim of today is. We want to get it all weather tight, so because the rain is coming. So yeah, I hope you're enjoying it, and I catch up with you in a bit. So we're back on a job. Rain has passed. We got 2-3 days now. So this is all trimmed up, as you can see. Also we have no water come through, which is great. So I'll just show you where we are. So this is where we're stuck on. So what you need to be aware of, you can see it creased here quite a bit. And that is because we tried to stick it to longer lengths, and when you prime the area it is so damn sticky that yeah, I would say go maybe half of this, so it doesn't tangle. So it was windy at the time, and what happens is that this backing paper sticks on itself, and that creates a problem. So yeah, that's where the problem was. So what we're gonna have to do now is cut OSB in the front, and we need to put like an upstand. But what we can do, we know this Celtex is going to be 145, so we will cut it so it sits under the OSB or level with the Celtex on this front lip, and that way when we do our tongue and groove over, we can sail it over for our drip trim, which you want to have about 65-70 mil. Then what will happen, then your drip trim will end up like there, sort of in a gutter, which is what you want to achieve, so there's no capillary effect possible. So yeah, now my next job is to mark where the joists are at that end. I know where it is there, so it's quite easy. We wiped off the little puddles we had, because obviously you don't want to be fitting the Celtex onto the wet, because that will trap the moisture. So I swept it all off. The sun is out, so that will dry in the meantime while we do mark our joists. And yeah, we'll be good to go to start putting Celtex. And what we'll do with Celtex, we will use expanding foam, especially around the edges, so the Celtex sticks to the edges and therefore it can't move. Some use 6x2s. I find it, unless you get very straight ones, I find it they curl, so I don't use that. I use OSB, because also you want to tidy up the edge, the joists on the side, so that's why I do that. I'll show you. So I do that here, as you can see, so that takes care of that, and that's a good fixing for your fascia board. It does bring it out slightly, but I replaced it because the existing one was gone. So this way you do two at the same time. You go an upstand and you have a new fresh board for fixing the fascia. So yeah, this is first time I use this product myself. I must say it's very sticky, especially with that primer you put on. It's literally like a spray glue what you put on. So yeah, as you can see, the only mess is there for us and a little bit there, but so what we end up doing is cutting it in smaller pieces. It's easier to handle because it is really sticky. So but yeah, it's held well. We had quite a heavy rain and it hasn't leaked. So now we, as I said, we're gonna crack on by marking out our joists and we go from there. So I hope you're enjoying it, and I'll catch up you in a bit.